Not premiers, absolutely walked it in.
Yes.
After the 4-minute mark, Sal, I think everyone, including yourself, knew that Geelong were winning the flag.
I'm not sure if it was that stage, Jim, but it was a very memorable day, we can say that.
You enjoyed yourself. It was bloody good. And it was your farewell as well. Now, tonight, talking footy, Harley Reid, we were in the meeting. We all Zoom in, Limo, on a Tuesday. And his name was brought up, and I was in the car, and I thought, well, there's no chance he's coming on. I don't even know why one of the producers even brought it up. So it's a bloody good effort.
Yeah, it was a good get. I'm not sure who put the phone call in, but to get the hottest property in the game right now, it's exciting, and the kid is unfiltered at the moment too, which is the best thing about it. And we'll just let him do what he does.
It's funny. Is he 18 or 19?
18.
He's 18.
He's just turned 19 in April.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I
it's
love
his
that,
birthday.
Rabs, I love that he's 18, and here we've got JB and Joel Selwood going, can't believe we've got Harley Reid.
I know.
It's pretty amazing
It is.
that he's been spoken about.
Well, it was
this.
crazy. Sunday afternoon was a game, Eagles versus Melbourne, and I just couldn't switch off. And I wasn't saying that about an Eagles game 12 months ago.
You played with Gary Ablett Jr., one of the greats. How would you, at this very early stage, compare those two? Because for me, Gary Ablett Jr. has played the best footy individually of anyone in the last 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, for a long period of time too, you're talking, Limo, like what he was able to do up at the Gold Coast, not only just at Geelong, but when he didn't have the support around was unbelievable. The footy that he played went on. Maybe 9 All-Australians. I shouldn't have gone there because I'll get myself in trouble. But this kid may be on the way. And we don't want to put that much pressure on him, but he's going to change our game, that's for sure.
Bendigo boy, of course. Well, near there anyway. Yeah. And a rusted-on Joel Selwood fan. That might be why he's coming on talking footy. So was he Cats growing up?
He was.
So
I believe. But didn't have much to do for him. I understood that he was coming through the Bendigo program and looked out for him the last couple of years when the Bendigo Pioneers were giving him a bit too much airtime. I wrote in a couple of times to him and just said, hey, let this kid just grow up at his own speed. But to be honest, it hasn't affected him. And maybe I was the one wrong by just holding him back too. And he seems to just relish it too. So the more we can see of him, the better.
Does it blow you away how quickly these 18-year-old kids are adapting to footy at the highest level? It used to be that you got these really talented draftees, but it took them a couple of pre-seasons and a bit of work in the gym and to get themselves ready to really start delivering on the big stage. These blokes are walking straight in.
Yeah, this is a different mould again, I reckon, Jim, because he goes straight into the middle and has a massive effect on the game. So we see sort of running midfielders that can take on the wings and the flanks okay. But yeah, if you're not one of those, you maybe get pushed to the half back, as we've seen with a couple of the guys of late, to protect them and try and get the ball in their hands and build up the confidence in their game. But not this kid, built differently.
But but the big don't argue. On Oliver and Petrarca, the double don't argue as he's running out of the middle. Just extraordinary.
Well, they say within Clubland that he's got a list that he's ticking off all the big boys. So it'd be good to check in on how that list is going tonight.
That is so good.
that.
Yeah. And backs himself too, like taking hangers, and that's the other thing I love about the modern environments, and you've obviously very recently been involved in a really good one. When these talented kids come in with the swag, as they say, the young swag,
Yes.
it's promoted. It's like good, take it on.
Yeah, and we can see it in his game. Breaking tackles. I think he may be at the top of the list, if not second. And these players are loving it around him. You see on the weekend, Waterman get interviewed with him, and he's blown away and not really sure what to say about the kid. And it's changed the landscape of that football club quickly.
Because weren't they saying he was on the back page of the West Australian? Was it 30 days in a row or something?
Something like that.
And was saying the pressure's going to be too much, but he's just dominated.
Yeah,
really. For what's he played? 10 games.
And we're not sure where it finishes, and we have to be patient. I think that we, as the fans and the public, were a bit disappointed when he got rested against the Gold Coast. You can't do that off the back of the performance that the kid's been playing. But we have to remember that he is only so young.
So let's dive into that a bit. I know we're going to talk about it tonight. Young kids now, I know Paul Roos had his view, and that is, why the hell aren't you playing if there's a game on? What's with, going home 2 months into a season when you're playing as well as you are and all the rest of it. But 2024, 18-year-old, 19-year-old young men are very differently wired. Did you find that?
They are. Like, I mean, he would want to do everything he possibly could, training and playing wise, but there's, sports science behind it. And we only have to look around the league, and Craig McRae mentions it throughout the week too, that 150 plus injuries across the league right now to 800 odd players. Like, there's way too many. What is it? Is it too many games? Is it back-to-back games that are too tight? You're hearing about 6-day breaks and 5-day breaks. So the challenge is to get it right. And to assets like Harley Reid and I think of young Tools and Ruckman, and you don't want to lose them for long periods of time.
Also, the mental strain is hard enough when you're a veteran and legend, in your second half of your career. When you're a brand new kid, especially in a place like Perth, which I grew up in, and it is nuts.
Yeah.
The intensity around the West Coast Eagles and footy over there is, I think, different to anywhere else in the country.
Yeah,
so you can't walk anywhere, can't do anything. And
Well, Nick Natanui was getting pulled over by police to sign autographs in Perth. Like,
I think
that is a whole nother level there.
Yeah, Harley's first trip into WA was met with cameras at the airport.
Yeah.
And they haven't left him since.
Hadn't played a game yet. No, it's unbelievable. All right, we're going to take a little break with the great Joel Selwood. There's a couple of questions I've got for him about what's going on down at GMHBA.
Because Tomahawk is playing on the weekend,
Walking
JB.
past you, Big Hawk.
Yeah, no, jogging. Oh, no, maybe walking at the moment.
Limping.
He'll get back into form, and he'll get back up to a sprint soon, hopefully.
Now, we were down there a couple of weeks ago at GMHBA, and it was my first look at the Joel Selwood stand. And we'd heard so much about it, and it'd taken a long time to get enough material to build the bloody thing.
How does it look?
Well, there's still the whole area where there aren't any seats. What happened there?
Oh, well, ran out of money, ran out of state government funding, but...
Hang on, hang on a sec. GMHBA has run out of funding. That is the single most funded stadium in the country.
That was the art of having a standing room originally and then not wanting to lose it. So it looks a little bit like a cattle yard, to be honest, when no one's in there. But once it fills up, it's a place to be.
It is for standing room.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, right, okay. I like a bit of standing room, I've got to say.
There's some good spots that actually the GWS Stadium has a great standing room area. Optus Stadium at the second level has got a really good standing. It's good, I reckon.
Adelaide Oval, obviously.
Adelaide Oval, yeah.
So not losing the foundations of what those grounds were originally.
How does it feel to have your own?
No, it doesn't sit
there.
overly comfortable, I can say. I mean, it got mentioned to me nearly probably 18 months ago, and yeah, I mean, I don't go to the ground to have a look at the stand, but it just shows I was able to have a small impact on something that I love doing for a long period of time, and a place that was very special to me.
Well, the Selwood name is not only from yourself, but of course all the brothers, and they're still involved in footy, you know, in the coaching caper. So you'd think that people would know a bit about. Well, let's talk about Scott Selwood, for instance, and yet. I don't know if you've heard this, Sel, but I think was it Stevie?
It was Stevie.
All right, so Stevie J, your man, who you'd think would know a bit about the Selwood family.
Yes.
Went on Triple M football and went on this great big long rambling question that in the end went horribly, horribly wrong.
And Scotty, how's Harry Mackay sort of handled the criticism that's been come his way during the week? Criticism.
I'm the Collingwood coach, not the Carlton coach.
If you go into the other rooms and find out for us, that'd be great.
I just seen Bossy walk past you, and I thought, can you just ask?
Is it strange that it's still making us giggle 12 months on?
Where was your man at?
I mean, his prep work would have been thorough, I'm sure, like it was with his football, but he would rock up to games and not even know who he was playing with at times, and let alone the guys that were playing on him. So that doesn't surprise me that he's fumbled one out there.
That is so funny. I love that. And he thought his mistake was the pronunciation of the word, not the fact that he got the whole club wrong.
We reversed over it. Hey, now I did a gig, JB, with Joel here not so long ago, and we got a private jet up to Albury, if you don't mind,
Nice.
to do a
and Albury.
to do a sporty together. Now, for me, it was a big deal, but I want to know, Joel, you're a man of much more importance than I am. Are you private jetting around the place regularly?
Oh,
Is
no.
this just one of the hundreds of gigs you get offered?
No, that was a special one, to be honest. The Albury Tigers up there, and
Yes.
To be honest, it sort of come out of nowhere for me, but it was a great club. And
It's a
then they went on. They nearly stole the grand final off Stevie's boys last year. And just a little story, but the young kid that played within that grand final, Connor O'Sullivan, he's
Yes.
now stolen my number at the Cats. So
Oh,
I had to
right.
pass it on originally, but
Oh,
there
there you
it
go. Well,
is.
that's a nice story, actually, because you met with the leadership group that day at
I
the
did.
president's house and gave them a pump. You should have seen their faces when
Well, it
this
didn't
bloke walked
work.
in, JB. Their eyes just popped out of their heads, and they're going.
would.
He said, I mean, I was in there saying hello. They couldn't give a stuff.
No.
And then Joel walks in, their eyes fell out of their heads. It was great.
Yeah, great footy club, and they went on, and like all, to be honest, local footy clubs that are around, a good country, a footy program that they've got, and Cats were glad to get Connor at the end of the day.
Just as we let you go, because we need to, Max Rook, Scarlo, Big Domsey, Lonigan, Stevie. Geez, you played with some weird units.
Yeah,
Pilotons.
there was plenty more that you could add to that list, but they were great team meetings, to be honest. You laugh away at some of them, how they worked out, but the things that you would take out of them would usually be the joke box that was at the start. And, to be honest, the coaches, the two that I played under, Bomber and Scotty, really relished that too, a part of the boys. That they were all different. They all come from different walks of life, and it brought the best out of them.
Make sure you're watching Talking Footy tonight.
Yes.
You do anyway, everyone does. But Harley Reid, the special guest, and no one has heard from him on this side of the continent anyway, so we cannot wait.
10 p.m. after Front Bar. Joel Selwood on the Rush Hour. Triple M.